Hello and welcome to the first installment of a new series we're putting on, Ask the Expert. My name's Jesse and I'll be your host. Each episode will bring on one of our many experts here at CertiK to discuss what's happening in the world of crypto and how you can leverage the CertiK security suite to make informed decisions and separate the signal from the noise. We've got some ideas about what we're going to cover going forward, but we're always open to suggestions. So feel free to drop any topics you'd be particularly interested in getting an expert opinion on in the comments. We're going to kick off this series with a deep dive into the new and improved Security Leaderboard 360. And to help us understand the full functionality of this powerful tool for due diligence, I'd like to bring on Will, who's a research analyst here at CertiK. How you doing, Will?
Doing great. Happy to be here for the first installment, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you on to discuss the new leaderboard. So can you just give us a quick overview of what you do here at CertiK?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm a researcher here, which means that I get to spend my days really learning about the intricacies of kind of every level of the tech stack that we're concerned with on the day-to-day. So perhaps a little bit less so focused on hardware and the infrastructure layer, such as the virtual machine, but really diving more so into the networking layer, the different blockchains that we all interact with on a daily basis. Whether it is something connecting them all at the L0 or some prominent L1s in the space, and even L2 scaling solutions that are really starting to come to the forefront now. I'm also concerned with, kind of investigating, developments on the consensus layer and how that sort of applies to how all of these chains operate, as well as, the application layer, which is, ever developing as so many more, novel applications really come to be deployed on chain. And I do this to the extent that I can across all the various ecosystems that are now.
Like you got a lot on plate.
Sorry?
Okay. It sounds like you got a lot on your plate with all those areas of interest, but couldn't have a better expert to discuss the security leaderboard. So let's get into that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Why don't I pull it up so
Awesome.
that we can start taking a look here.
So anyone can find the security leaderboard at CertiK.com. That'll be our landing page. So it'll be the first thing you see when you get to our website.
Yep. Here is the security leaderboard. It's the most robust ranking platform in crypto of projects that we have audited, sort of taking into account a number of factors. I would say that they're kind of all based on various metrics, one of which is our CertiK trust score.
Right. Yeah. Let's get into that. So maybe just pick a project and we'll dive in.
Sure. Why don't we start from the top down, looking at Polygon.
Excellent choice.
The first thing that you see when you select a project security leaderboard profile is their Skynet trust score, which is really just CertiK's kind of holistic evaluation of the level of trustworthiness of an audited project, both kind of with respect to its security posture as infrastructure that can be used in Web3, but also for its token as an investment vehicle.
Right. Yeah, I'd say there are two sort of sub-scores there. We've got the security score and then the market and community score. Could you explain the difference between those two?
Exactly. So the security score is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It is our kind of proposition of the overall security posture of Polygon as a network system. There are kind of a number of qualities that we look into when we're determining this that are sort of based on a few categories, like the software development quality, the project and the team, and then some on-chain analysis as well. And kind of within each one of these categories, there's a number of sub-signals that really roll up to informing these categories, which we're constantly kind of reevaluating, adding to, and redetermining the weights of in order to really gain like an accurate picture on what the overall security posture of this project is.
Sure, it's a fast-moving space, so you really do want like a dynamic sort of score that updates and isn't stuck in 2020.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So let's go into the market and community. What are the metrics that make up that 93 out of 100, which Polygon gets?
Yeah, definitely. The market and community score is sort of exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of the other side of the coin when you think about the overall trustworthiness of this sort of project, right? So there's a lot of kind of live monitoring that we do around understanding what Polygon's communities look like and what their attitudes towards the project are. And there's a number of different ways that we sort of track these metrics. But at the end of the day, it kind of all rolls up to this idea of community sentiment. Additionally, there's also the market aspect of it, right? How is Matic, which is the kind of end protocol asset of the Polygon network, performing, especially in this particular downtrend,
Sure.
against a lot of other tokens in the market, right? Volatility is something that's a big focus, particularly with high frequency traders kind of explain or being in the same space as a lot of everyday retail traders, and you want to make sure that at the end of the day, there's not a particularly terribly volatile environment or something that's going to really harm the overall views of what the financial markets for Polygon look like.
Right, or like a high level of centralization among token holders. That's not something you'd really want to see if you're considering an investment in this token.
Yeah, that's a particular signal that we look at with respect to on-chain behavior, right? Like, what does the distribution of Matic look like, right? Like, who are the top holders there, and what kind of scenarios could result from them either dumping liquidity or looking to accumulate more over time? What are the individual dynamics of these holders? And essentially, let's kind of take a broader look at who's holding Matic and what that really rolls up to. But
Sure.
I guess, if you were kind of quoting decentralization there, that's sort of a separate bucket that we, also look at. Token distribution is the one that I think is more focused with the on-chain holdings.
Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. And I see that little that graph there. Can you run us through how anybody can use that to sort of compare projects, similar projects, and other related projects?
Yeah, I'd say that it relates sort of really well when you're reading this screen from left to right, right? Like taking a look at this bottom highlights and alerts section, you see that the trust score for Polygon is #1 amongst all projects. And I think what immediately kind of comes to mind, at least for me, is, okay, what are the other projects that are sort of in similar buckets to Polygon, and kind of against what metrics are they in similar buckets, right? So you see this 2x2 here where you see projects that have similar security scores and similar market and community scores mocked up with Polygon. So it's almost like a sort of discovery-based tool that helps you look at other CertiK audited projects, kind of based on the levels of trustworthiness that we've assigned them. And you can do this for projects across the board, or you can kind of narrow it down to the categories that we've applied for Polygon, right? Whether it's smart contract platforms or L2 scaling solutions.
Right, and looks like Polygon scores very highly in relative to other projects in both those categories.
Yeah, it definitely is. We've definitely done a lot of analyses on Polygon to make sure that we're producing an accurate score here.
Okay, excellent. And so this is just the first of a number of modules on this new and revamped security leaderboard. That might be all we have time for today, but we're looking forward to diving through the rest. We'll go down the list and just give everybody an idea of how they can use this tool to really get an insight into the security of a project, which is one of the major things you want to consider before either getting involved in a DAO or investing in a token, or really just engaging in any way with crypto.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Jesse. The Skynet Trust Score is sort of meant to be your introduction to a security leaderboard's profile, right? It can serve as, kind of initial confirmation, that the primitives that, we care so much about, decentralization, how long has the project run for, how trustworthy is it overall, are really kind of satisfied before you kind of make any decision to either use the technology or invest in the end asset there. But it also serves kind of a second purpose, which is really supposed to be like a launch pad for the things that maybe you want to care the most about when really doing further research. And this highlights and alerts section, I think, is one of the most important components of the trust score, because it kind of leads you into the rest of the security leaderboard. And I think we'll get into that in some future sessions, but
For sure.
These highlights are definitely some of the kind of major primitives that you want to focus the most on when doing your research on a project.
Yeah, the leaderboard really is a great springboard for research. It distills all these very technical data-based insights into a score that's easily readable and very legible for anybody who's new to the space or looking to continue their involvement. So awesome, Will. Look forward to having you back on very soon to go through the rest of the leaderboard, and thank you for your time today.
Right. Thanks, Jesse.